Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Lance Knight. I'm here to talk to you about lean principles and systems thinking, how to use those techniques to improve software delivery. Today, I'm actually going to talk to you about a company called ACME Corporation. They're a case study. They're a company we've been working with through the years on value stream and so on. Before I get into that, though, I want to take a moment and talk to you about what's going on. A few months ago, maybe last year, I was saying, things are changing the world, and we all know the changes are happening. But I really got to say today is things have changed. Things have changed immensely since I made that statement. And, software is eating the world, but to be competitive, you need to be producing fast and rapid software that can be eaten. You have to think about totally different about how the world is and the effect that has with this new normal we're all living in. As everybody's now working from home, and I've worked from home for 15 years, everybody's getting their food delivered. Everybody's doing the things they can do not to interact with people. And that's accelerating the need to be software producers, the need to get software out rapidly and quickly. And those companies that haven't been proactively working on becoming software development organizations, no matter what their industry, and developing this self-serve attitude where your employees need to be able to self-serve. That's delivered by software. Your customers need to be able to self-serve, order online, get it delivered. The new normal is just an acceleration of the move toward that delivery, e-commerce, self-serve environment. And it needs to start to happen at speed. A lot of companies that haven't been embracing these concepts are now starting to fall behind. They're starting to see where they're not able to keep up with the Amazons, with Domino's Pizza has a great success story on their digital transformation and so on. So speed's a new currency here. The new normal is accelerating the need for that speed. And I'm going to show you with value stream optimization how you can accelerate that for you and your company and things you do there as well. And companies are becoming irrelevant. I'm seeing it left and right where, with this acceleration of moving towards software and needing software, companies are definitely becoming irrelevant today. So what is value stream management? And I like to say, what the hell is value stream management? Because value stream optimization, value stream management, it's just one of those hot buttons today that everybody's talking about. And it has a transformational role, and it can help with digital transformation as you try to deliver faster software to the market today. So simply put, value stream optimization, to me, helps you build a roadmap to predictability. It's looking at how you're developing software, how your organic value stream came around, and how to optimize it and make your software delivery more predictable. And if you don't do that, you're going to be like the local banks that don't deliver great mobile experience and are losing customers and depositors. With some of the larger banks, they have a great mobile experience and they're thriving in this new normal in this digital transformation. So to do a value stream management, you go and you look at the whole end-to-end value stream. And this is what a value stream is in software delivery. It's from requirements. It's from ideas. This usually goes through your tools from Salesforce or CA Clarity or your PPM tool, all the way through requirements, design, development, test, and maintenance. This is your whole value stream. You have to look at this across that from an end-to-end perspective. And there are multiple value streams in organizations. I've talked about that before, how you have your delivery value stream. That's actually the value stream that has the flow for DevOps. And then you have your workflow, your artifact value stream, and they're different. And I know a lot about this because I spent time in manufacturing looking at the value stream and how we deliver products to the customers as well. So value stream optimization, I've already said this, it's the process of looking at how you're developing software from an end-to-end perspective. All areas of it, from how I take work in, from how I move that through from production, and how I put code in production. And the ability to actually look at code and know where did that come from, what idea was it, what enhancement that was, and track that, and then learn to remove waste along the way. When I do a value stream optimization program, I use two techniques I've learned over the years through my years of working in software development and software delivery. Those techniques are systems thinking, and I use lean principles. And I learned lean principles when I worked in a large aerospace manufacturer as a younger man, and systems thinking as well. So I'm going to take a minute and break both those down for you and kind of go through what they are. So what is systems thinking? Well, it's the way of looking at everything as a system. And everything is kind of a system in a way. And I use a real simple example, and I have a lot of places where I've used this example, where you take a look at your home washer, your home dryer. You know, your clothes dryer is a very simple system, we think. Put the clothes in, and out comes dry clothes. Matter of fact, that's what they call a black box system. I point out the fact that black box systems are well known, and IT and software delivery and DevOps are black box systems to most business stakeholders. So in this example, I'm going to put clothes in the top. I'm going to hit a button. Those clothes go through this phase transition. That's your cycle time, and out comes dry clothes, right? That's pretty simple, but there's more to it when you think about it as a system perspective. All dryers have different elements, and this is truth. This is the truth for software delivery as well. You've got a dryer, you got a drum, you got electric systems, you've got a motor, a fan. All these things work together in order for that to happen. And along that, these elements all have feedback loops. They're communicating through that, right? So if the lint pipe is blocked up, it lets the electronics know and it shuts down the dryer. All these things happen, and it's always communicating back and forth in these feedbacks. And there are all types of feedback loops in software delivery as well, from all the way at the end when you're doing monitoring all the way into development. You have to look at these feedback loops while you're doing value stream optimization as well, because there's a lot of waste in that time, and you can improve your software delivery as you're looking at that. So systems thinking, looking for the elements, trying to find the bottlenecks, improving your cycle time, looking for the individual time it takes to go through each one of those elements. And elements are very simply like your different pieces of your software delivery SDLC. And I've used this a lot in my years of doing value stream optimization for companies, and it's very, very effective to use systems thinking along with the lean principles that we want to talk about as well. So, what are lean principles? Well, it's been around for a long time, came in the 50s. It's used in manufacturing. It's about identifying value, mapping the value stream. We'll talk about value stream mapping here as we're going through this, establishing pull, creating flow, and seeking perfection. And over here is the house of lean, and that represents all different types of things when you're thinking about that. Kanban, Pokiyoki, these things all have terms and meanings. And you can be automating along this journey as well. So there's tools also within this, as you're looking at those five key functions, there's also the concept of what waste is and how to remove that waste, right? So when we do a value stream optimization, I'm looking for waste, and this is how I categorize each one of these wastes. Over-processing waste happens quite a bit in software delivery. We will spend an inordinate amount of time defining and setting up requirements, looking for consensus, and then doing. That front part of the software delivery lifecycle has moved into this whole section where everybody's got to agree to everything and just not getting things done. That's over-processing waste, and I've made recommendations in that when running these programs as well. Defects, of course, we know that those are coming out this side of software delivery. There's transportation waste as well. That's when you've got three different parts of your software delivery working in three different solutions, and people are moving from one to the other just to key things in. And that doesn't allow you to get metrics as well. Talent waste, that's when you take a true developer and say, why don't you go do testing? I don't have anything against that, but you can use people in the wrong way. They're not accomplishing your goals. Inventory waste in software delivery, to me, is when I have things just sitting there waiting in my backlog to be done, because I'm too focused on a bunch of other stuff. And then there's motion waste as well. So I look at all of these and I use systems thinking to kind of make assessments, right? Findings, impacts, and recommendations come through these methods. Also creating flow. I think about that when I'm doing that. And I know we've all seen the Lucio Ball video from whatever, maybe not, it probably ages me. By the way, Little's Law comes into effect here, where if I even remove work from your environment, you may get more done. And that was created in the 50s as well. I'm looking for, my lead time, my wait time, my Kanban states, using this information as I'm trying to create flow to reduce waste. Some of that's value-added waste, and most of it, and a lot of it is non-value-added waste, and that's what we want to remove when we're looking at a value stream and how to do an optimization program. So I use these two principles to make predictions and make recommendations. I, of course, will use a value stream map. Value stream maps are very useful in software delivery. What I found, though, a lot of companies don't use or put their feedback loops into the maps when they're looking at this as well. And you can see this is just an example of a basic value stream map. Something a lot of other people don't use that I do, I use a thing called a SIPOC. SIPOCs are very useful at a high level, where I talk about who's giving me something, what are those inputs, what's my processes, what's my output, and who's that's going to. Sometimes I'll do a value stream map, and then I'll do SIPOCs into the lower level. That also lets me understand process. So if I'm doing process improvement, I just have to remove waste and say, okay, why are you doing this with this step? Couldn't we just do this? And here's where I start to build recommendations by doing a value stream optimization exercise like this. So lean thinking, been around forever, helps us hold a conversation, if you ask me, gives me things to talk about that people relate to as I'm doing a value stream management optimization exercise. So when you enter into these, there's 4 steps I put into this, and these 4 steps are pretty basic if I'm going to do an optimization exercise. The first step is I'm going to talk to the stakeholders, and I'm going to say, what are the outcomes you're looking for? Then I'm going to look and try to get the value stream map put together and kind of see what their present state is. I'm going to analyze all the metrics, and I'm going to recommend a future state that's going to have a lot of information that's going to say findings, impacts, and so on, so that companies can improve their overall software delivery method and succeed in this new normal of everything self-serve through software. So let's use a real-world example. Now, of course, for lots of reasons, I can't use a customer, but I use ACME Corporation when I do these. And ACME Corporation it has a customer. His name is Wile E. Coyote. He is their number one and only customer, and ACME is competing with Stark Industries right now for some business. And the trouble is that the missile guidance system he's getting from ACME is not as good as the one that they're getting from Stark Industries. And he's thinking about switching, and ACME's like, well, what do I do? I don't get enough updates out to the field with my software. How do I improve the flow of software and updates to my GPS systems to keep my one and only customer, Wile E. Coyote, from going to Stark Industries? So I entered into an engagement with him, and what we did to get started was say, what do you want to accomplish through this over there at ACME? Of course, improve quality, reduce rework, improve overall velocity in their SDLC. So if you look at from those lines, you have that first conversation about what they're trying to do and document that out. That lays a framework for everything that you're going to do when you enter into a value stream management optimization exercise. Then I had a big whiteboard session where I brought people in and out with a goal of kind of mapping out how they deliver software from work intake all the way to code and production. And I went through that whole method, and it's all in here, and it's all phrased out. And then I took this after this day-long exercise, and I created an initial look at that, right? I looked at, here's my business requirements that are coming in. Here is my cycle time. Here's software in production. And I kept looking at that and going through that. And this whole process is the phase transition, which we learned when I was talking about systems thinking. Then I took and converted that into a value stream map. And you can see here, as I'm looking at the value stream map, I can see the PMO, that's the first part of that. And they use a very different tools through this process as well, from Plan View to ServiceNow to Jira and a quality product called Silk. And they had a myriad of other tools as well. I started to look at the time it took for each one of these to stay at what cycle. What I noticed here when I was talking to Wiley is it took 45 days waiting from something to go from QA to ops. And why was that? And also there's a 20-day wait period from dev to quality. I kind of look at these things. And then I just went back and I looked at the feedback loops as well. And I saw there was time in there also. And then I looked at all the metrics, not just the lean metrics, but all the metrics, because lean gives a set of great metrics, but there's other metrics that are relevant. So I looked at cycle time. I looked at wait time. I looked at defect density. I looked at all those different things, and it allowed me to really get a good understanding about how work goes through their organization, from work in production, from intake and idea to code, or quote to cash, or whatever. And I was able to find a whole bunch of areas where we could remove waste. And I looked at all their tools, of course. We removed a bunch of their tools at the same time and looked at that whole thing and brought it all together. At the end of that, I had a happy customer, Wile E. Coyote. ACME saved money. We gave them a roadmap to predictability, removed waste in different areas, and they were able to maintain their relationship with our one and only customer. So that was my conclusion. That's what I went through that whole process. Now, one of the things that's interesting as I talked about that is this whole process is human. It's a human process. Humans do this process. And we believe in it. ConnectALL, we believe at empowering the humans. We have a tool that'll help you automate and a solution that'll help you connect all the tools. We have a value stream mapping tool, value stream visualization tool. But the understanding of how to take the information you uncover and improve your organization and use solutions like ConnectALL, that is human. That's all I had to say today. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at ConnectALL.